43 starters are on the track for their pace laps, and let's take a look at who's in the field for today's race. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is on pole position. Last year's race winner, dominated here a year ago, led 186 of 200 laps, and there are all those Nextel Cup guys surrounding him in those first rows of the grid. Nemechek, Kenseth, Harvick. Kyle Busch up there on the outside, though, one of the Busch Series regulars.
And there we see Casey Kane, who's been so hot in Nextel Cup this year in row 4. Greg Biffle, 3 victories. Todd Zegedy, his second Busch Series start, last year's modified champion.
David Green will have to drop to the back end of the field. His team had to make an unscheduled engine change this morning. That's a violation of NASCAR's 1 engine per weekend rule. Mark Truex Jr., championship leader for Chance 2 Motorsports, the team owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Teresa Earnhardt.
And there we see Jason Leffler on the outside of row 10. A lot of guys say this is the car to beat today.
Johnny Sauter, 27 car, also got to go to the back of the field for an engine change. Ron Hornaday in the 2 was winner at Milwaukee 2 races ago. He's going to come from inside of row 15. Justin Labonte, Terry's son, in row 17. And Mike Wallace, the Daytona winner, going to come from row 18.
Now we see the remainder, rows 19 through 21. Tina Gordon will start 42nd, and Steve Grissom, previous NASCAR Busch Series champion, will start 43rd.
Well, the pace car is off. The fans are on their feet. And NASCAR on NBC 2004 is back under green.
Guys had a little trouble getting up to speed there.
Look at Kyle Busch hanging on the outside of Hamilton Jr. He wants to race him for that lead on this first lap.
That is a tremendous battle side by side, but Kyle now wisely backs off and goes in on the inside, gets that preferred line on the inside. Kenseth still on the outside, seems to be running pretty well.
This racetrack in the past has been known for that outside lane being a little bit slippery in the first part of the weekend.
Here we go.
Ooh. And Harvick in the 21 car wisely backed up and let those two
there we
cars.
go, one in trouble, turn 1. Caution's out. It is Billy Parker in Rusty Wallace's 66. Caution flag is out, field immediately slows. And just a lap and a quarter before trouble for the Denver, North Carolina driver Billy Parker in his 11th NASCAR Busch Series start. He's kind of struggled here lately. This will be his 4th crash in the last 5 races. He is a rookie in the Busch Series, and he's trying to get the feel of what is a totally new type of racing to him, and it's been a little bit difficult in recent months.
It is very difficult. This is a brother of Hank Parker Jr., and he's been around racing for a long, long time. But you're right. It's trying to get started in this business is so tough.
I talked with Barry Dodson, the general manager of that team, this morning.
It's hard to tell exactly what happened watching the replay, but a couple of cars right behind him, I don't know if the contact was made or just simply pulled up behind him and got him a little bit loose, arrow loose.
Caution early in the Twister 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series at Chicagoland Speedway. Bobby Hamilton Jr. leads. Kyle Busch is 2nd, Joe Nemechek 3rd, Matt Kenseth 4th, and Kevin Harvick 5th, followed by Greg Biffle, Casey Kane, Robbie Gordon, J.J. Yeley, and David Stremme.
Stremme got a good jump.
At the red car up in the outside lane.
Oh, look at him go 3-4 wide down the corner, but wisely they filtered down to 2.
There's a little contact.
Who was that?
Yep, Biffle got knocked up the racetrack a little bit.
Robbie Gordon,
60.
Robbie Gordon to 55, right behind Biffle.
Now watch it all accordion when they get on the brakes for turn 3.
Wow, Robbie got a little bit loose. Up on the outside there.
Hey, look at this. Kyle Busch, the 5, into the lead by Bobby Hamilton Jr.
That's not something a lot of folks thought they'd see today here. Somebody passing that 25 car.
And one guy in particular, I think Bobby Hamilton Jr. didn't think it was going to happen.
Still early.
Still early, but I would think you want that clean air. I don't think he wanted to give that spot up if he didn't have to.
So now Joe Nemechek in the 87, chasing Hamilton Jr. for 2nd, and that's Matt Kenseth in the yellow car, back in 4th place. now all chasing 19-year-old Kyle Busch, younger brother of Kurt Busch, the Nextel Cup Series star, having a spectacular rookie season. Already 3 wins just past the midway point of the year.
And Casey Kane, the 38 car, moving up high on the racetrack. And he goes by the 21 car on the outside. And look at it. Wow.
25's got a problem.
Something's wrong with the 25. He's on pit road.
Hamilton Jr. off the pace.
I think maybe the left rear tire's flat. Dave?
He said it wound up. Then he said, I'm changing boxes. He's trying to change ignition boxes. That's the electronics on the car. That has not helped. It has died on Bobby Hamilton Jr., and he's bringing it in.
Yeah, you can see some smoke coming out of the
I talked to the team just before this, guys, and it's so ironic. Rd19, one of the team owners, told me, you know the racing gods. He said it is so hard for the motor, the carburetor, the ignition box, and even the circumstances on the track to work right to win these races. So we by no means think we've won this thing before we took the green flag.
Well, they're a lap down now as the field comes by, and there's enough smoke from out of that 25 car as it sits in its pit box that he could be there for a while. So one favorite out of the way. It's a cruel business, isn't it?
Yeah, Kyle was talking about racing for second, so not anymore.
Ron Hornaday in the 2, Jamie McMurray in the 1, and Tim Fedewa in the 12. And this is going to be back for 17th, 18th, and 19th spots. Hornaday moving up to 17th. And another update on Bobby Hamilton Jr., Dave.
They're pushing the car away, Alan. It is not good news. The crew said, hole in the bottom, hole in the bottom. The motor is blown.
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
Broke something internally in the engine, enough to put a hole in the oil pan. That's something that's not repairable. Michael Waltrip, the 99 car, going by on the outside. If anyone runs this outside line and makes it work today, it will be Michael Waltrip.
Michael started in 27th position. He's trying to take 19th away from Tim Fedewa. And Michael earning his reputation as being one of the early explorers in these races of that high lane.
That blue and white car, if you a regular watcher of NASCAR Busch Series competition, that's Jason Leffler. Normally red and white. This weekend, special paint job.
Keller, BP. Keller.
What'd I say?
It's okay.
Okay, thank you. Jason Keller.
We'll work with you.
If you're a regular, you would have known that.
I would have known that. That's right.
Little branding thing from his sponsor there. New product they're rolling out, so that's why the different colors. Keller is in 21st position and joining that race for a spot. He started 23rd, so a little slow progress there, though this Chicago track's been a good one for Keller. He's got all top 10 finishes here. Michael Waltrip going to try and rim ride around Jamie McMurray in the 1. 18th place at stake here.
And I'm surprised. I mean, I'm surprised nobody's jumped up there. After seeing Michael, normally it's monkey see, monkey do on these deals, so everybody starts moving up if they see somebody that's got an advantage, but pretty much everybody's staying on the bottom.
And that 7 is Todd Zegedy, the Featherlight Modified Series winner last year. Michael Waltrip just blows by him.
So put Michael up to 17th and counting. Billy Parker's been on and off pit road a couple of times. He has rejoined the race. Coasting down pit road is the 33 of Clint Boyer, and he looks like he may be headed to the garage to join Bobby Hamilton Jr., who's with Dave Burns now.
And Bobby has climbed out of the car. Bobby, you didn't even hardly have time to break a sweat, bud.
No, we same thing happened to us in Kentucky and Daytona, I think it was, in practice. Out the bottom of, I think, a rod or something. But what do you do? I mean, you pretty much count championship pretty much out the window now. So only thing we can do is just try to go win races. And, you know, we're kind of stuck in a box. You only got 2 people building real great Ford engines. That's Roush and Yates. So we're kind of stuck whatever that's the good times with the bad. I just wish we could get a little bit of good times with this deal.
Reference fact to the guys to the fact that this team operates pretty much by itself.
Hamilton Jr.'s second engine failure of the year. He dominated a race at Kentucky Speedway in June and fell out late with engine failure when a potential victory was in sight.
But they're not building their own engines.
Right, they're coming from a vendor is what he was referring to.
Yeah, Robert Yates builds the engines in the 25 car. It's not the Yates-Roush combination, but just Robert Yates in his engine shop builds the engines for this car and several others. But
little side-by-side here at 19th and 20th place. Fedewa by Zegedy.
The blue and white car, the 50s, Reagan Smith. About to lose a spot to Jason Keller.
There you go.
Still there, clear. You'll be catching at 66, slow and low.
Said
Into the 4.
He wants to get down. He didn't like it up there.
Szegedy comes from Richfield, Connecticut. We'll hear something there we weren't supposed to. We apologize for that. Szegedy comes from Richfield, Connecticut. He's used to driving cars that are about almost 1,000 pounds lighter than these cars and with almost twice as much tires. So coming out here at these super speedways, it's an adjustment for him, but he's doing a good job so far. That is Kyle Busch. Took the lead from Bobby Hamilton Jr. at lap number 6 and is now out in front by 1.6 seconds over Joe Nemechek. Matt Kenseth, your leader. Robbie Gordon second, Mike Bliss third, Greg Biffle fourth, Jeff Burton fifth. Followed by Casey Kane, Michael Waltrip, Joe Nemechek, Ron Hornaday, and J.J. Yaley.
Great restart. Matt Kenseth, the 17 car.
And Biffle goes by Bliss on the outside. Bliss, does he have a problem? Maybe just missed a shift or something, but 20 car slow to get up to speed.
And Jeff Burton trying to work some lap traffic in the 9 car and pick up a spot at the same time. He's working on Bliss for 4th.
Not quite.
Burton started 17th in that 9 car, only his 4th NASCAR Busch Series race, 2004 for Roush Racing.
Matt, what's going on with the 20, do you know?
Well, BP, he hasn't said anything on the radio. His crew chief, Steve Addington, is speculating that he just missed a shift on the restart.
He's going now.
Yeah, he's got her going now.
Just a shift, spun the tires, step on the gas. These cars have a lot of horsepower, pretty easy to break grip. And Jeff Burton, let's hear from him, from Marty on him.
Well, he wanted to know what Matt Kenseth had in his car. He went over to send his crew chief, Tony Liberati, down to Matt Kenseth's pits and asked them what they're running air pressure-wise. That's where we need to be. Right now, our car's just way too tight. He went down there, and they found out. That's what they're going to do on the next stop. Matt?
Marty, the 20 car Bliss runs in 4th. He indeed radioed his team and said, I missed a shift on that last restart. He has now lost a lot of distance to the 60 of Biffle, but he is slowly working his way back up to the leaders.
Managed to hold off Jeff Burton for a 4th spot, Matty. So Bliss hanging in there, driving for Joe Gibbs in that 20 car. And he is one of the drivers, 14 of them in the race today, that'll also be in tomorrow's 400 miler. Kenseth's got Robbie Gordon and Greg Biffle kind of close in tow. Then a gap back to this race for 4th, 5th, and soon to be 6th as Joe Nemechek tries to reel these guys in. By the way, the championship guys who were on pit road a minute ago, Kyle Busch is kind of tearing back up through the pack. Now that he's back on the lead lap, he's up to 16th. Well, Martin Truex Jr. is in 21st.
Now, Burton has already moved up to the top of the racetrack to try to find some grip up there. I'm surprised how quickly, after a restart, these guys moved to the top.
Yeah, it looked like he was searching. The last 3 laps, he's kind of done something different every single lap. His car looks like it works really good on the bottom like he is right now, but he looks like he's moving up and down, just trying to find the best place for that car to run. But he's not gaining on Mike Bliss in that 20 car.
Well, it's not like the 20 car's a slouch. I mean, he qualified 6th.
No, he's a very good race car, as a matter of fact.
He's got 4 straight top 10 finishes over the last month. 4th, 3rd, 6th, 5th. And his 10th in the NASCAR Busch Series championship standings coming into the Chicagoland race. Jeff Burton in the 9 car. What a great qualifying run he had in his Nextel Cup car for tomorrow's race. Team that's been struggling all season. Sponsorship not as much as they need, and he's qualified 6th for tomorrow's race. Be good to see him have a nice run for Roush Racing.
And right now, Roush Racing is doing pretty well. They're running 1st, 3rd, and 5th. And could be 1st, 2nd, and 5th.
Yeah, Greg Biffle driving for Roush Racing in the 60, going after Robbie Gordon for 2nd.
It's on the inside, the preferred line. Looks like Biffle will have that spot, and does.
And now Biffle to set off after Matt Kenseth and pursue him for the lead.
Tell you, Robbie looks like he's got his hands full a little bit with that car. It looks like he gets right in the center, right around that bump, and the car gets loose or wiggles.
Yeah, I've been watching Kyle Busch, guys, and he is just flying up through the field. He restarted back around 21st position. That pass is for 14th, and Jamie McMurray in the 1 is for 13th. Remember, this was a guy that was on pit road, unscheduled under the green, came out a lap down, caution trapped him a lap down, got it back. Davies on the move back toward the front.
And they told him, Alan, just to be patient. Of course, Kyle's a young guy, so they want him to be patient on the restart, be patient passing cars. It's a long race. We've got plenty of time now that we're back on the lead lap.
And for 3rd place, Mike Bliss by Robbie Gordon.
And Wally, looks like Robbie Gordon's problems that you talk about are starting to compound.
I think they're only going to get worse.
Yes. And Kyle Busch in the 5, finishing the pass on Jamie McMurray for 13th. Check here as he comes to the start-finish line how far behind the leader Matt Kenseth he is. 9.4 seconds after 77 laps, working lap 78. We'll see. Keep an eye on the lap time intervals there and see what kind of a eat into he's able to make on Matt Kenseth.
Well, he's been in traffic, so he's going to be a little bit tougher to make some time on map. But once he gets in clean air.
That wasn't very well said, was it? I have to come up with a better phrase than that.
We understood what you meant.
Yeah, okay. So Robbie Gordon sliding back a little bit now to 4th and in danger of losing that as Jeff Burton closes in on him. Dave, what's up with the 55?
AB, is it too early in the season to tell Wally that he was exactly right?
Well, no, we'll get him off on the good foot. How's that?
Okay. That car is definitely loose and getting a little bit looser. I talked with his crew chief about it, and he said, you know, we just can't seem to dial the loose out of it, but we're going to keep trying. It was loose yesterday. It was loose today. It's been loose all race, but just a little bit, but we're trying to fix it.
Going to lose another spot right here.
Well, I tell you, as soon as the 9 car got anywhere close to him, he got him so loose he just had to chase the car up the hill, talking about Robbie Gordon in the 55.
I don't think Robbie wants anybody behind him, so I think if Robbie sees somebody coming in his mirror, he's just going to move out of the way because, like you say, BP, you get somebody behind you when your car's loose already, makes it twice as bad.
Not too good. So Jeff Burton to 4th, Robbie Gordon back to 5th, and he's now fallen nearly 4 seconds behind race leader Matt Kenseth. A little over a third of the way through and closing in on a race record for Busch Series action at Chicagoland Speedway as far as lead changes are concerned.
That's a good record.
Yep. 7 already today. The record's 8. Matt Kenseth is out in front now. Greg Biffle a second and a half behind him and trying to close in. Let's see what happens. Green flag at lap 124.
Now this is when you're the leader. You really have to show a lot of patience and good judgment.
And Matt Kenseth, the 17 car, the reason they didn't pit, because remember, he made an unscheduled stop 20, 30 laps ago. So he has several laps on his tires, but he wanted to be in front of the leader, trying to get the lap back, still trying to win the race.
Caution comes out now. All of those guys will get that mile and a half to make up when the pace car would come out in front of leader Michael Waltrip. So that's what they're hoping for. And of course, whenever the field is bunched up on these restarts and the traffic is racing tightly together at high speed, things can happen fairly easily. Waltrip right in the middle of the group.
There he is on the inside of Joe Nemechek. Nemechek, the 87, trying to pin him down behind Hornaday. Oh, Robbie Gordon high.
Yep, just cost him a lap. He was in front of the leader. Look at Mike Bliss for the race lead, and Joe Gibbs, number 20.
Michael's going to have to give there.
In traffic, Mike Bliss gets the lead away, and here comes Kyle Busch in the 5.
That's the guy you got to worry about.
Kyle Busch in 5. I agree with you. Michael Waltrip, 99, is back up on the high side, his favorite spot to run, but with these fresh tires, it's obviously not the best place to run as Kyle Busch, the 5 car, goes by and takes over second.
Ooh, Kyle Busch, a little bit loose, getting in there.
Tries to run up underneath Joe Nemechek in the 87. The race for first and second is between the 20 and the 5. Mike Bliss and Kyle Busch. Michael Waltrip is third in the 99. All those other cars around them are trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap.
And the blue and white number 29 is Ricky Craven. This is his first NASCAR Busch Series race since the year 2000. Car out of Richard Childress stables.
That's that employee support of the Garden Reserve program that's had all the different drivers in it so far this year. Bobby Labonte drove it. Tony Stewart drove it. Kerry Earnhardt's going to drive it later this year.
Michael back up on the outside, and Kyle's got to be careful here. He's got to use his head on this deal. He can gain a lot of points today, so he doesn't need to force the issue. He's got a fast race car. He just really needs to be patient here.
And here comes Robbie Gordon back in that 55 car. Oh! Oh, did you see him slam on the brakes?
Caution is out for debris in turn 3. And all of those guys that are in front of Mike Bliss that were on the tail end of the lead lap are going to get 1.5 miles back.
And Robbie may be the lucky dog.
Either he or Craven, I'm not sure who was in front when the field was frozen.
Waiting to hear and double check for sure. But you see Mike Bliss slowing down. The pace car will get in front of him. And all these guys, Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle, Jason Leffler, Jeff Burton, Casey Kane. There's the debris. Bungee cord, looks like. Yep. Casey Atwood, Ron Hornaday. They all get that 3.5 miles and get to come all the way back around. All right, 70 laps to go. Fresh tires for Matt Kenseth and Jeff Burton. Will they be able to get through the traffic and up to the front? As they come to the restart with 57 laps to go. Who's that going to pitch up on the outside?
Who else?
Yeah, big surprise there.
1, 2 spots, maybe. Got Ashton Lewis there in the middle. If Ashton gives any.
3 wide. Oh,
man. Oh.
Well, Ron should go thank Mr. Lewis after the race.
Joe Nemechek in the 87 is the first car 1 lap down in 19th place. He slides in between second place J.J. Yaley and third place Michael Waltrip.
And that red car on the outside, Mike Wallace, currently running in the 4th position, following up his victory in Daytona last Friday night.
27 Johnny Sauter not on the lead lap. Next one in line for position is the 2 of Ron Hornaday. That's 5th place. Then Ashton Lewis in 6th. Greg Biffle 7th. Jeff Burton 8th. Jason Leffler 9th. And Casey Kane in 10th. Matt Kenseth is 11th. And remember that some of those guys like Kenseth and Burton and Leffler and Kane have fresher tires than some of these guys in front of them. They're trying to race for these top spots.
They've got a long way to go. They've got a lot of cars to pass. And
I tell you what, I'm impressed with J.J. Yaley. He's closed up right on the back bumper of the 5 car, Kyle Busch. He's not driving away like I thought he was going to.
Yep, not letting him get away. J.J. Yaley in his 11th NASCAR Busch Series race. And as his crew chief Doug Hewitt was talking about a minute ago, getting better every time out. His best 2 finishes have come in the last 2 races that he's run. Matt Kenseth picking up a spot around Casey Kane. That's 10th place now, the yellow 17. And next for position in front of him is the 00, Jason Leffler.
think for the 17 car to win, I think he probably has a car fast enough to win. He has better tires than any of them, but he's going to have to get by some of these cars and then get a caution flag to close him back up on the cars that he hasn't caught yet.
He's like I said, he's fast, but he's actually losing ground on the leader. He lost 5 seconds behind that last lap. He was like 4.6. So
around 10 feet on the 21st place car, a lap down. Matt Kenseth was out in front of this race at lap number 90 when he had a right front tire going flat. Dropped onto the pit road under the green flag, fell to 28th, a lap down. And then about 25 laps later, the caution flag came out and trapped him there 1 lap down. He had to stay out on that caution, go to the tail end of the lead lap, go back racing, get another caution, come back in, go back to the back of the field. And now he's trying to dig out of that hole that Lady Luck dealt him with the flat tire back at lap 90.
Jason left with a 0-0, trying to get by Stacy Compton in 59. Drives on the inside. Can he do it? Looks like he can, but in doing so, he's enabled Kenseth in the 17 to close up right on the back bumper.
Compton's a couple laps down in 24th place. And you're looking at the race for 9th and 10th between Leffler and Kenseth in 0-0 and 17.
and Matt lost about a half a second that lap on the leader, Kyle Busch.
There's Jeff Burton, another one of the guys that took fresh tires earlier. How about it, Marty? Can he get up there?
Well, they're hoping so. They do have the fresher tires now, and there was a very long debate between Tony Liberati, the crew chief, and Jeff Burton as to whether or not to pit that last time. They came to a collective decision that that was their best shot to win. They were going to pit, and at the last minute, Jeff stayed on the racetrack. That only proves one thing, Wally. That's that the driver has the last vote. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, you hope so.
Yeah. If he doesn't come down pit road, you're not going to pit.
That's right.
And there we see Ashton Lewis battling with the 2-car up Ron Hornaday and is going by him. Here comes Biffle. What's wrong with Hornaday, Matt?
Well, BP, he's just trying to hold on for a top 5 finish, just battling that 46 car. They've been battling new car blues all weekend. They spent most of the final practice session just trying to get this race car to quit bottoming out. They even passed on going to see that legendary rock band Kiss last night play in Chicago to try to brainstorm in the hotel room, try to figure out a setup for this race car. They have gone from 29 up to the top 5.
Oh, boy, I can't believe they missed that.
Hornaday shuffled back 2 spots now, though, Matt, on that last lap. Ashton Lewis got by him, and then Greg Biffle got by him. Ashton Lewis in the 46 is on a roll.
Yes, he is, going by Mike Wallace. Here goes Biffle, the 3 wide.
Look out.
Man, oh, man. So Biffle moves up to the 4th position.
Getting greedy out there right now.
Yes. Ashton Lewis, 46, still continues to try to get by Mike Wallace. Does. Here comes Hornaday.
How about Ashton Lewis? Let's talk about him for a second. Started 25th. He's up there now knocking around for a top 5 finish today. You see that as a very, very white race car. No fancy logos that perhaps corporations have paid for. His family supporting this team. And we're here. There might be something up with the 5. The leader, Kyle Busch. Dave?
Here's what he said on the radio, Alan. Motor problems, motor problems. The crew asked him to change the ignition box in the car, and he said, did it. It didn't help. It's terminal. Now, he hasn't lost it yet, but Kyle thinks he's got a problem that will not fix itself in that motor.
Man, this jinx of being the leader is unbelievable.
If I was Yaley, I wouldn't pass the leader right.
There it is. 46 laps to go. J.J. Yaley trying to take the lead from Kyle Busch.
Man, oh man, this is unbelievable. And Truex looked like he was going to have a disastrous day, which he's had, but he's back in 17th. He probably was going to lose the NASCAR Busch Series points lead, and now, if this 5-car continues to drift towards the back,
and he is drifting.
Yes, he is.
You see, he's keeping up in the corners, but he's fading on the straightaway, so he's probably running on 7 cylinders.
That would be my guess.
Well, he'll be lucky if he can run on 7 cylinders for the next 45 laps.
Because to be on 7 cylinders, something has broken.
Yeah.
And normally when something breaks, there's pieces floating around in there. And sooner or later, they find a place that they lodge, and it's not good. The results are not good.
So 27-year-old J.J. Yaley driving for Joe Gibbs in that 18 car leads his first laps in NASCAR Busch Series racing. And he does it here at Chicagoland with 45 laps to go.
Talked to JJ yesterday down in the Busch Series garage area. He said he's from Phoenix, Arizona. Asked him what he did for a living. Contract work. Now we're talking about moving dirt and what have you. Can you imagine doing that in Phoenix in the summertime?
No.
No. Neither.
No.
Matt Kenseth trying to make up some ground toward the front of the field. That's 8th place he just took away from Jeff Burton. Kenseth in the 17.
He's only 3.9 seconds behind the leader.
Ooh, Michael Waltrip.
Oh, what did you go for the slide for the life in turns 1 and 2?
Got up into the gray. See him losing spots. Greg Biffle went by for 3rd. Ashton Lewis for 4th. Michael back to 5th.
A lot of track position he lost.
Michael was trying to pass Kyle Busch for the 2nd spot going down in 1, and I didn't see what happened, but obviously a little bit loose, get into the corner, make contact with him. I don't know.
Well, let's find out.
Okay, show me. Ooh.
Got loose.
Man, did he get loose.
Almost looked like he hit the apron, that left front tire.
60 goes by Kyle Busch.
That'll be for 2nd place, Greg Biffle. And so Kyle slowly beginning to fade back from the lead. Now Yaley, the leader, with Greg Biffle trying to close in on him. And he's about a half of a second clear at this point, with still a very long 41 laps to go. And the way things have gone for leaders today, who knows what else could happen.
If I were Biffle, I would wait till a couple of laps to go to pass him if you could get to him.
You see, the leader just put a lap on Jamie McMurray, who is suddenly running somewhat off the pace in the 1 car. So McMurray now in 28th place, a couple of laps down.
And Biffle's catching Yaley pretty quick right now. A couple of tenths a lap.
See the damage on the left side door panel from J.J. Yaley. That coming when he and Mike Bliss probably made contact there exiting pit road on that last set of stops. Remember when they got fuel only?
Yeah. And the best thing that happened to Yaley is in his door, and that's not nearly as critical a spot as the fender where Bliss made contact with him.
He's trying to put a lap on Regan Smith now in the 50 car, who is the 30th place driver. You see Yaley fading back as far as 19th in the field at one point.
He's going to have company here real quick.
Yep. That would be Mr. Biffle.
Yep. About 3 more laps. He'll be on his bumper.
And Matt Kenseth continues to come towards the front. As he goes by Mike Wallace, takes over the 5th, 6th position.
Yep, 6th.
And he's only about 3.5 seconds behind Biffle.
Michael Waltrip just around Kyle Busch in front of them for 4th place. And here comes Kenseth up to Kyle Busch. So now Kyle's fading back. Martin Truex got the lucky dog last time. He's on the lead lap, but he's back in 18th place. Let's see, they could end up very close together if that 5 car will last the rest of the race.
Yeah.
By the time the checkered flag falls. And up front, here he comes.
Bro, I tell you what, don't you know this young man Yaley was, he looked up in the mirror and saw that 60 car getting closer and closer. He said, oh no, come on, Greg, you've won 3 times this year. Let me win 1.
Todd Bodine off the racetrack and onto pit road at reduced power as Greg Biffle closes in on J.J. Yaley for the lead. Greg Biffle looking for his 4th win of this season. And does he go for the top spot here?
He's going to try.
Not quite.
Something must have told him, or someone must have told him what happened to Michael Waltrip when he tried that down in 1 and 2.
Matt Kenseth is off the pace again. That's on the backstretch, headed for turn 3.
Mike Kellen off the spotter, telling him to get down out of the way. Cars are coming.
It'll be the 2nd time today. Hear him say put right sides on it. Kenseth had a flat leading at lap 90, but he's off the pace again. His try to rally for the win is probably over for this race. Yaley's able to hold off Biffle for now. Dave, what's the 60 crew saying about Greg Biffle's car for now?
Well, they're saying that car is just a little bit different than the others, and that's why it's Greg's favorite. It has won the California and the Kentucky race, actually second in Kentucky this year. This is the 5th of 10 races this car will do this year. Matt, back to you on the 17.
And he's in again, and again, a flat right front tire on Matt Kenseth's Ford.
Sounds like a camber issue, doesn't it?
They're wearing it to the cords. Yeah.
On the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get the attention of a lot of people in the Nextel Cup garage for tomorrow's race.
We talked about earlier in the broadcast, if you're with us, the cars, they run the spring, they're sprung so softly in the front when they go down the corner, the car just dives down and travels 4 or 5 inches. When it does that, the upper control arms suck in so rapidly that it puts a lot of negative camber in the car, which sucks that tire in and puts the tread, the wear pattern, right on the inside of the tire.
That's where all the load goes right to that little part of the tire that's on the track.
You know, you got to be impressed as quickly as Biffle caught Yaley. He's been able to not only stabilize that gap, but even put a little bit more of his distance back between himself and second place.
Biffle doesn't want to lead. He's seen what happens to the leaders.
Yeah.
Why would he want to lead, right, Wiley?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're saying, don't pass him.
Don't pass him. Right, Dave?
BP, as I went through the garage and talked to guys this morning about passing on this track, they said we could catch up to people, but we couldn't pass them. We get about 2 car lengths behind them, and then we would just stop. Our cars would start to push. It happened time and time again last night in final practice, and soon there was this string of cars who all caught up to each other, but they couldn't pass.
And right now, Ashton Lewis, the 3rd place car, the plain car you talked about just a moment ago, the vanilla car, is faster than these 2 cars. He's in 3rd position and actually gaining on them. Matt?
BP at about the halfway point of the race, they finally fixed his loose entry and loose exit. He's slowly been motoring his way to the top 5. His best career finish, a second 2 years ago at Richmond. He hasn't had a top 5 finish since the season finale at Homestead. They've had a little restructuring on this team. James Ince has been here on and off this season trying to get input, trying to help this team take it to the next level. Could be another career day for Ashton Lewis. He just needs a little more time and a little more track position.
Of course, James Ince, the former Nextel Cup Series crew chief, he told me this morning, James did, this is the first car they've brought to a racetrack that he has hung the body on, and they expected it to be a little bit of an improvement for them, and they've had a strong run.
Yep, it makes a big difference when you got downforce in these race cars. It helps make them stick.
Ashton Lewis, 32 years old, Chesapeake, Virginia, mechanical engineering degree from Old Dominion University, and here he tries again as Biffle for the lead.
See, and the problem that Biffle has when he gets around, when he runs the groove that he wants to, he's running in exactly the same tracks as the 18 car. And Dave Byrne just talked about it. When you get there, you get that arrow push, and the car, you just have to simply back off the throttle to let the car turn. It will not turn at all, just slides across the racetrack when you can't get all the air going over your car. All right, here we go.
15 laps to go. Mike Wallace trying for back-to-back wins.
Well, here we go, 4 wide into turn 1.
Tim Fiedel on the inside. Oh. Is that Kenseth trying to get a lap back up on the inside? Yes, it is.
He's in 18th place now. They get 17th as he passes the 12 car for Kenseth. He's the first car 1 lap down after having that cut tire just a little while ago at lap 166.
And you know, Mike Wallace is he's going to drive away from the contenders for the win.
Well, he's got the advantage. I mean, he's in clean air, and it is so important at a racetrack like this is to be in that clean air. It gives all the air to your car, pushing it down to the racetrack. All these other guys, they're having to struggle because they're in traffic.
All right, let Kenseth go, Mike. We all know he's a lap down. Okay, now pulling behind him.
Justin Labonte, the second place car, that orange-nosed machine, the 44. Trying to deal with the lap car of Tim Fedewa, who's in 18th place. Robbie Gordon is third in the 55, then Jason Keller fourth. And somebody just pulled out of the apron in turn one with some mechanical problems and some smoke trailing from behind the car. We'll get a number there in a minute. How about Robbie Gordon, Dave?
Well, Alan, it's all about being out of traffic and in clean air. Right now his car is tight, and Bob Temple, the crew chief, thinks that that's a good sign. Earlier they were loose, tight in traffic. If he can just get around and get up to Mike Wallace and everybody else, he might have a shot.
And that's Joe Nemechek down there with the problem.
And Mike Wallace just ran 31:30.80. That's as good a lap as I've seen about all day. As a matter of fact, the best lap he ran all day was 30:70.
He's motivated.
He is motivated right now because the checkered flag is in the air.
How about the 87 car, Marty? Joe Nemechek?
That would be an engine failure, Alan, done for the day. They struggled once the caution came out, kind of put them a lap down. So the engine failure will end Joe Nemechek's afternoon as he heads to the garage.
Nemechek is done.
Another good lap by Mike Wallace.
And the race for second is hot and heavy behind him, while Mike Wallace has opened up a second and a third advantage.
He just ran 30:75 on those worn tires. This is unbelievable.
This is the race for second. The lap car is the 12 of Tim Fedewa, 44 Justin Labonte, 22 Jason Keller, 55 Robbie Gordon, all racing for the spot.
Bobby makes it 3 wide.
And here come some of the guys that got tires on the last caution. 46 Ashton Lewis got 2, 38 Casey Kane got 4. We may see another yellow flag before this one's over. They're dodging it.
They're trying their best to have a caution flag. Look at this. Ashton passed Robbie, Robbie passed Ashton, and Ashton passed him back.
Robbie ran out of patience about 2 laps ago by the looks of it. So.
And here comes Casey Kane with those 4 tires. He's going to be moving to the 5th position, but
maybe not.
Robbie's going to hold him up enough. And Mike Wallace only got 8.5 laps.
Jeff Burton in the 9 also got tires on the last caution.
And the last lap, Justin Labonte ran 30:77. As fast a lap as he's run all day long. So he really wants to win this thing.
Mike Wallace last stopped with 70 laps to go. He's had enough caution flags, so fuel to the finish won't be a question.
Justin Labonte is reeling Mike Wallace in right now.
Yes, he is. He's less than a second behind him now. If he can forget about Jason Keller, if Labonte can forget about Jason Keller, who's right behind him, and worry about catching Mike, he might be okay.
And you know what? Second place would be a great day for Justin Labonte and that team.
Be fantastic.
Family team kind of resurrected after being dormant for a few years, trying to reestablish Justin's career, if you will.
Well, I don't know what happened with Justin in qualifying, but he was fast in practice. The car was good when they unloaded, and he was really good on all the sheets.
I think in that Friday morning practice, he was 3rd or 4th fastest.
And he's closing in on Mike Wallace while you watch Robbie Gordon try and continue to deal with the lap car of Tim Fedewa, the 12. There are the top 2 in the championship. Up in the box, the 5 of Kyle Busch and the 8 of Martin Truex Jr. And that's for 13th place.
A half-second lead for Mike Wallace and 5.5 laps to go.
About a 10 workout. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Last lap by Justin Labonte, 0.3 of a second faster than Mike Wallace.
We saw what happened when Greg Biffle got within a couple of car lengths and picked up that Arrow Busch. Does Justin Labonte have enough experience? Is it going to be a factor for him?
Well, you got Mike Wallace, who has a lot of experience, so he's going to know what to do to protect that.
Look at this. 3 wide. David Green, Jason Leffler, 9th and 10th places there. They bounced off each other coming off turn 4, but everybody gathered it up, scattered around the lap traffic.
Last time by Wallace's lead, 1/3 of a second.
And they better not look now, but Jason Keller's closing on to both of them as well in the 22.
Coming down to 4 laps to go.
Labonte is coming.
Talk about a hungry young man. His best ever NASCAR Busch Series finish, a 14th place back in July of 1999. Justin Labonte looking for the lead on Mike Wallace, who's trying to make it 2 wins in a row after his upset victory at Daytona a week ago yesterday.
All right, now he's got there, VP, like we talked about. He's gotten to the bumper. Now we got to see if he's got anything to make the pass.
Is an arrow push going to be a factor?
It wasn't that lap.
In the meantime, like you said, and Hornaday's been bouncing off that turn 4 wall there for the last couple laps.
Looks like he did it again.
Yeah, he was up there about 3 laps ago.
He was in 8th place. It's cost him 3 positions on that lap.
2.5 laps.
And here comes Keller, like you said. Hey, Justin's going to have to get creative.
Wonder if he stalled out there. Two laps to go.
Look at him trying to figure it out. Like I said,
Traffic's going to come into play.
Yes, it is.
Mike Wallace with the veteran experience. Justin Labonte with what appears to be a faster race car. Can he find a way around in the final lap and a half?
I think he's going to have to get right up on that bumper and try to get him loose, getting off the corner. Because Mike is really getting into the corners very well. But it looks like Justin's got some steam coming off. He needs to get him loose, getting off the corner.
And the white flag is up, and it's the final lap here in Chicago. To the outside. Mike Wallace, is he out of fuel?
He's out of gasoline.
You don't want to lead this race.
You just don't want to lead, is right.
70 laps was a bit too much to ask. Wallace is out of fuel. It's Justin Labonte and Jason Keller with a half a lap to go.
Matt, is he out of gas?
Out of gas.
Yep. Man, oh man.
What a great drive right here.
Off of turn number 4 for his first NASCAR Busch Series win. Say hello to Justin Labonte as he wins the Twister 300 at Chicagoland.
Wow. All I can think about is Grandpa Bob back in High Point, huh?
Yeah.
Is he happy today or what?
I'll bet.
There he is, 23-year-old Justin Labonte. Your new first-time winner in the NASCAR Busch Series. And Justin, take us through those final laps, especially when Mike stalled in front of you out of fuel.
Well, I didn't know what really happened. I thought we might have a shot at him on the last lap, but he had a really strong car, and we hung in there all day. We were a lap down, came back, made up 2 laps, and you know, we were in contention at the end, and that's where you got to be if you're going to win races, and it paid off for us today.
Heard another driver comment on your motor as it being very stout.
Yeah, our motors are really good, and Freddie Terza in the motor shop, they put a lot of effort into our motors, and my dad told me before the race, he told me, he said, now don't make too many changes because it usually shoots you in the foot. So I listened to him today, and it worked out.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.